altcoins prepare to lay naked and afraid in a puddle of their own filth as Bitcoin and stocks slip even lower while the DXY continues rallying to the upside. Is this the perfect storm scenario to create the biggest bull trap in the history of mankind, to slurp and gurp the baby bulls into oblivion? And does Ethereum risk another 35% drop in the next month? Or is all of this bearishness that is permeating the markets showing us that the real bottom is already in? Only one thing is for sure. Somebody is about to get milked. I'm your host, Wendy, the girl from the Wendy's fast food commercials. And as the sentiment across crypto social media hits all-time lows, this can only mean one thing. These absolutely time-sensitive alerts, and as well, make sure to have that little itsy-bitsy bell dinged so you get these absolutely time-sensitive, incredible updates the second that they go online. Absolutely so critical. And as well, if you guys are interested in any bonuses, deals, trading altcoins, securing your crypto, staking your ADA with our pool to earn rewards, trading, make sure to check out all of the links below and tutorials and everything like that. And without any further spladoosh, let's jump in. Unbelievably big, as Bitcoin right now risks something very devastating. Many equities and the entire world, except for the DXY, apparently seems to be dumping. So with the DXY continuing today to rise to the upside near basically its highs set back 2 decades ago, this is absolutely cataclysmic, or is it in fact very, very good? And before we jump into the Bitcoin analysis, if you are going to post a comment saying, so you're saying it either goes up or down, instead of taking the time to write that comment, I highly suggest you take the time to write a text to your mother to tell her that you love her and that you're absolutely okay with having a new stepdad and with her seeing other men. Ginormous, as Bitcoin right now, currently, again, as I said in yesterday's video, I think the most likely scenario, regardless of what happens in the midterm or long term, in the short term, it looks as though we are going to be needing to see some sort of downside move. However, I want to talk to you in this video about something equally as interesting, perplexing, and likely that would absolutely devastate the mental faculties of the Moon Boys and the Baby Bulls. And that is this. So, are we potentially going to see a massive bull trap? Now, you might be saying, what in tarnation is a bull trap? Well, with shorts fully loaded and the market expecting some sort of rebound very soon, could we see something absolutely devastating to the market? Basically, we're going to get into this in a second, but, we look as though we're about to dump, okay? And many people think, okay, well, we could see a little bit of a dump and then a massive squeeze to the upside. Whether or not that happens, is it also possible that we do see a little bit of a pump? Let's say we do end up breaking 40K again and end up setting a lower high over the next week or so and pretty much make the ultimate bull trap, which would trap the people that get very bullish right here, expecting a breakout, and ultimately sending us into the pits of despair and destruction. That, in my opinion, is the ultimate bearish scenario to play out in the short term. Okay, because all of that has to do with psychology. We have not had a definitive move in a very long time. We've been in a dumpy downtrend, except for the smallest little fake out here at the beginning of April. We've been in a dumpy downtrend for the last 6 months. And the two things I think that will be most devastating to this market are, one, what I just explained, is we do get a bounce here at 38. We breach 40K again, maybe say rise $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000, fail to set a higher high, and we see, turmoil continue in the global markets and DXY continue to rise in the short term, and potentially, a lot of people go long with this move, and that would trigger basically the ultimate short dumpage confirmed. However, to the opposite side, I think it also is very, very, very likely, as I just said about a minute or two ago, that we actually do see that dump first, in which case, if that would happen, obviously many short positions, which are absolutely fully stacked right now, obviously a lot of people are very short on Bitcoin and have been for a very long time, and rightfully so, as it's only been dumping for so long. But if we actually do see that dumpage, wow, that actually was a nice retracement of that arrow. Wow, I did it again. Wait, let's see if we can do it again. Not as good that time. If we did, see this move go to the downside here like this, Obviously, I do think that there would be some punishment massively for the bulls, but a bounce absolutely would come at some point in which many people would fail on their short positions, fail to close them in time, and obviously, again, that would make the ultimate short squeeze. But right now, again, we're talking about the two biggest scenarios, which I think both are very likely: a very big short squeeze or an absolutely devastating bull trap. And as well, before we continue more with that, obviously a bull trap is just a false signal. Referring to a declining trend, it basically denotes a reversal that forces market participants on the wrong side of price action to exit positions, and it usually does cause a squeeze and further exacerbates the price direction that people get squeezed out of. But Ethereum risks a 35% drop, and how could this affect altcoins as we're seeing institutional inflows drop? We're seeing demand drop a little bit, nearly almost 200 million just this year. And also potentially an ascending triangle fake out, which we have also seen here. So the Ethereum token wobbled the proximity of a trend line, a rising trend line, constituting an ascending triangle pattern in conjugation, maybe in conjunction is what they mean, with a horizontal line resistance. Yeah, I don't think conjugation is the right word there. I think conjunction. Maybe I'm wrong. To recap, ascending triangles are typically continuation patterns, but with ETH's price trending lower before forming this, it actually raises the chance it could break down, because if it continues the prior trend, then it would break down. And another bearish sign comes from Ether's fake out move more than a month ago, which we saw here back on March 28th. We saw it break out of an ascending triangle, only to flip back and just enter that pattern again. We saw it here. And we saw it with Bitcoin as well. We're talking about this on Bitcoin. Towards the very end of March, we saw like a little bit of a fake out there. Many people were expecting this to be the actual breakout. And actually, before we continue with that, there is also the possibility, and this is equally as exciting, if there's one bullish scenario for Bitcoin in the short term, which could absolutely begin that squeeze that we talked about for a bull trap, this falling wedge, let's say we do get a breakout here, let's say we make it all the way up to even 45, 46K, fail to set a higher high, my goodness, absolute devastation. That is that bull trap scenario that we talked about. That's just one more thing I think, again, is absolutely very important to be watching right now, because there is absolutely the possibility we see that move to the upside very soon, but just one little upside with a nice little pump doesn't guarantee the bull run is back on. In fact, usually quite the opposite. But basically, if Ethereum, would break out of this, it puts the downside target a little bit below $2,000, around 1820, which would be a 35% drop, which would be a failed breakout of this ascending triangle, or a negative or a bearish breakout. But additionally, in more fundamental terms, ETH interest is waning a little bit. About 170 million has left ETH in the last few months and gone into competition, Solana, AVAX, even Bitcoin, seeing capital inflows. So that's one thing very interesting. Maybe it is because of the ETH 2.0 delays or something like that, but ultimately I fully think that whenever ETH 2.0 does come out, I think that'll benefit the entire crypto space. It's one of those single massive triggers that I think could really do what we want to the market. It could really help us get what we want out of this market in terms of adding fuel to the fire of a breakout. And as well, absolutely incredibly important here about Bitcoin. So Scott Melker and Mike McGlone talking about a reset of crypto and traditional markets, and it's already happening here. There is an ebbing tide of massive speculative excess in all markets, and cryptos were a great leading indicator, and now we're taking the tide out, and it is a question of how far. This week, the Fed's going to raise 50 basis points for the first time in years, and he says, I could go back and check, but I haven't seen that in a long time. And Mike McGlone predicting that Bitcoin would ultimately benefit from this, but in the short term, absolute devastation is basically what it would require. So in the short term, absolute decimation, devastation, and pain across all markets. But in the long term, Bitcoin coming out absolutely on top, and he's adding that that's already happening. I think that's going to be part of a trigger that's going to flush out the rest of the excess in the market, most notably equities, and then Bitcoin will come out ahead, and it's already happening, he said. So that's absolutely very big. And at the end of the day, again, with the DXY being the highest it's been in 20 years, it's absolutely shocking that Bitcoin is even anywhere near $40,000 US. It's a new channel. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, absolutely time-sensitive alerts. As well, if you guys are interested in any bonuses, deals, make sure to check out all the links below. As well, if you are interested in trading this market or shorting this market right now, as it's expected to be so dumpy, I would absolutely urge caution, but there are some very nice bonuses below. In fact, we actually just added a tutorial video here, which is at the top of the description and in the pinned comments. Absolutely very big. But as well, any bonuses, deals, anything, you can check out there below. Check out the description and pinned comments below. I have one Twitter and one Instagram, and the rest are all scam impersonator accounts, and they're not me. And I will not message you asking how your trading is going and guarantee that you can, make 3 Bitcoin in a week or something. But without any further ado, it's free.